Welcome to the Emotional Balance Sheet, the go-to podcast for parents with multiple kids, especially those with twins, triplets, or more, who are navigating the maze of modern family life and personal finance. Whether you're overwhelmed by education or retirement planning, parenting dilemmas, career transitions, or trying to define your purpose and plan, we're here to guide you with empathy, encouragement, and expertise. Hosted by Paul Fenner, founder of Tama Capital, a certified financial planner and parent to 4 kids, including a set of triplets. Our podcast is your ally in the quest for financial peace of mind, proving that money matters, but family comes first. Subscribe now and join our community of empowered parents at tamacapital.com. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Clients of Tama may retain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast.
What does comprehensive financial planning even mean? At Tama Capital, it means a family office where lifestyle planning such as retirement, college, portfolio management, and tax prep and planning are all under one umbrella. But it goes beyond numbers. We focus as much on the emotional side of financial planning as we do on the financial side. We get you. We understand your challenges of building a family, business or career, and a healthy life. We are devoted to wealth planning for families like yours because we are you. Learn how our family can help your family by visiting tamacapital.com. Hi, and welcome back. I'm glad to be here this week because it was a tough one. Recently, I lost someone close to me in my life. His name was Darrell Hoff. And Darrell and his wife, Melodee, were actually my first career mentors. Growing up in a small town in Adrian, Michigan, I was looking for a job during my college years, and I landed with them, and they took me under their wings. They owned a small oil company, and we delivered fuel oil, heating oil, and gasoline to rural communities and farmers. Darrell was such a influential person on my life. It's hard to even know where to begin. But I guess the place to start is, I know that he had been in difficult health for the last couple of years. And I remember talking with him a little over a year ago at a funeral where my godmother had passed away. And I said, look, I'll be down to see you guys. I'm well overdue once I get through tax season. Well, as you can imagine, guess what? Tax season came and went last year, and I never got back. And I was thinking of him earlier in the year, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get through tax season again, then I'm going to get down there. Well, tax season came and went, and then Darrell went. And when I look back at the impact that he had on my life, I see it twofold. One was the technical things that he taught me about business. If it wasn't for his wife, Melodee, I may not have even gotten into numbers, into finance, into accounting. I remember Melodee sitting at our desk teaching me bookkeeping 101, paper to pencil. Paper to pencil, folks. You know, the era before computers and spreadsheets and all that. And it was how I learned, and it was great. And one of the things I loved about working with Darrell and Melodee is that when I would get my accounting work done, if Darrell was around, he'd let me go ride in the truck with him, and we'd go out and make our deliveries, and I'd pull the hose for him, and he'd write up the invoices, and we would just talk. We'd talk about business, how things ran, customer service. You know, it's hard to think back to those times and not realize how much impact he had on me doing what I do today, and the impact I have on working with families, the way that I treat families, the way that I want my relationships to be with the families I work with. So that was the business technical side, which was very important, but not nearly as important as the life lessons. The life lessons are the really cool ones. The stories he would tell are endless, but it's those little things that add up to the big things. I recently read this quote. I'm not sure where it comes from, but it went little by little, a little becomes a lot. And I think that's a good way to sum up how my relationship with Darrell was. And even though I didn't get to see him as often as I wanted, I knew he was always there. He was always there. And I think, sorry, I think even though I probably didn't prioritize him as much as I should have, I think he will have just as much influence now that he's gone than he did when he was actually here. And I think that's how people's legacies live on. It's when people are gone and we still talk about them like they were still here. And those lessons, they get passed on. And I can't wait to share so many stories with my kids. I think it also points out that, you know, we're all busy. There's no lack of busyness in our lives. And it doesn't matter what stage of life that we're in. It doesn't matter if you're trying to raise triplets plus one like I am and Teresa. You have kids of your own. Even if you're retired. I work with so many I call them young ladies that are retired that have these social calendars and volunteer calendars that are like in helping support their kids and their grandkids that are just as crazy as when they were working full time and raising their own kids. And what, like I said, I wish that I would have spent more time with Darrell, and I hope I don't let this opportunity slip by to spend time with Melodee. And the rest of the career mentors that have had such a big part of my life, because there will come a day when they won't be here, and most of us don't want to look back and wish and have that regret of, man, I wish I would have spent more time with them. And it gets to the point where we ultimately prioritize what's most important in our life in the here and now. And sometimes we don't realize that we won't have all the time in the world. And it's important to, I think, understand that and take a step back and think about, okay, what relationships do I need to be pouring into? Obviously, the relationships we have, like as parents, I'm talking to parents directly that are in my situation. Obviously, the relationships with our kids and helping them grow and develop and maintaining a healthy relationship with our spouses. Obviously, those are key. But I think sometimes we get so busy that we lose sight of the friendships and those mentorships that we once had that we need in our lives. And so it's really easy to let those go, but they're so important. So important. And even though I don't get to see Darrell anymore, I know that I can think back and realize the life lessons that he taught me in the moments that I still need him. And that makes him always here for me. So I know this was a bit of an emotional talk, but I feel like it's one that I had to do. Now that you've made it to the end of another great conversation, are you looking for more? If so, head over to tamacapital.com, where you will find all of our conversations. Use the search feature to find the topic or guest you would love to learn more about. Also, don't forget to make someone else's day by sharing our show. So that's all I have for this week. We'll see you next time.